Hi everybody, it's Oni. Welcome to What If Deku Was a Super Genius, Part 1. I do hope you all enjoyed this video. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe because I'm starting to pushing daily or 2 videos every 2 days. If that's possible, of course. But if it isn't, it's going to be 1 video every 2 days, and that'll be pushed out a little bit more and stretch it out a little bit more as well. I do hope you all enjoy. Let's see if we can get to 100 likes for Part 2. Hope you all enjoy it. So, how are we going to let this begin? Well, let's start off with Izuku turning 4 years old, and his study from there. As Izuku grew up around, well, his mother and his father, he grew a nice interest into reading books when he was little. Reading books like Albert Einstein, or the guy who invented the first ever monster, Dr. Frankenstein. From there, his passion grew and grew. As the more he asked his mom for more books, the more their spending decreased. But the more and more Inko saw her son getting smarter, that's when she decided to take him to the doctor to see what was wrong with him. He hasn't awakened a quirk yet, maybe it was more mental than physical, she thought. As we're going to the first person point of views. Doctor, what is wrong with my son? Is he quirkless? Is he got a power or what? So, is he quirkless, sir? Well, it's hard to understand, really. I've just had a look at his DNA, and it says that he has one. It's just that we don't know what it is, doctor said. But we did do an IQ test, and it turns out he has an IQ upwards to 350. Wait, 350? Isn't that what Netsu's was when he first did the test? Yes, but he's an animal. This is a human. I think this was the second biggest IQ for a child we've had in a while. So who was the first one? We can't remember fully, but I think it was a guy named Stone something. He had an IQ upwards to around about 312, but your son may be a little bit smarter than him. But depending on where he wants to go, I would probably say his best option will probably be the support department. But if he wants to go into heroing, he's going to have a lot of knowledge on how to control gadgets and how to make them as well, to upgrade them and help him out during his journey. So, can he be one? Well, yes, more or less, depending on how he changes his knowledge. As Inko looked over at Izuku, as the only thing she saw was a smiling face and gleam in his eyes, knowing that he could be the smartest hero or the smartest inventor. 10 years have passed since then. Well, saying Izuku was a mad scientist would be an understatement. Say what May was like in the canon, and then times it by at least 50. Izuku barely leaves his room nowadays, but when Inko first went into his room when he was 10, she was beyond that of surprised. It was like a mini pocket dimension within itself. Izuku managed to excel his room and make it bigger with just a simple, well, I wouldn't say a door or metal for that site. It was like a little pocket dimension, as I mentioned previously. It was like he modernized his own room and changed it into a black hole full of black atoms to make it bigger. As Inko was shocked with that at first, but the more she went along with it, she just felt like the norm at that point. As we skipped to around where we just packed up on. When Izuku went to school would be quite an understatement. When Izuku finished middle school around when he was around 10 or 11, after those waiting for 2 years to try and exceed into a high school, UA finally sent in a letter to him Padloader's recommendation. As Izuku waited for those 2 years to try his best and try and invent different and amazing new gadgets to show off to Nezu to show he was the superior being. Oh my god, was Izuku wrong. 2 months later, after when he received his letter of recommendation to go to UA, the moment Izuku arrived, he saw Nezu and Powerloader into the same room to show Izuku up just a little bit to humble him. As Nezu brought out his best inventions, so did Izuku. They both had a brain off and invention off, as you would like to say, for the next 4 hours, to try their best to see who was better than the other. Well, it's like comparing little sizes, isn't it? Wow. I shouldn't say that here, should I? As Izuku and Nezu fired on for hours until their testing finished. As everyone arrived home, Izuku was still at UA, as this is where we're going to go first person again. We're going to keep on doing this just to fast forward the story to get to the good parts, instead of just keeping on the same part of the story. So Nezu, what did you think of my inventions? Izuku said, laughing maniacally. Well, it could need some improvement, like your quirk enhancement bullets, or your injections to make your blood into fucking iron, or your skin into steel, which we've get to All Might to try and test out. Turns out giving All Might that makes him invincible, even more than we already is, Nezu said. So, how does it feel to know someone's probably going to be smarter than you when he gets to his prime? A little bit nerve-wracking, since I'm always going to be smarter than you. Hell, I'm 35, and I can still grow smarter than you, Izuku. Well, I'm still younger, so I'm still going to end up being smarter than you, Nezu. Oh yeah. Yeah, Izuku said, staring down Nezu, as they both laughed maniacally at the final sentence. Come on, Izuku, you need to go home now, Power Loader said. But why do I have to do that? I'm already at UA and I know have passed, so why do I? Izuku said. Izuku, you need to leave. If you don't, Aizawa will drag you out. Oh, come on. You know Uncle Shote won't do that, Izuku said. I know, Izuku, I know Aizawa. I know you've met Aizawa when you were 4, but Jesus Christ, Izuku. I remember when you bloody ended up blowing half bloody city block when we first met you. Wait, how did I blow up that city block again? Izuku said, putting a finger to his cheek. As we cut back to that day, Izuku met up with the pro hero for the first time, and how Izuku got his recommendation. Okay, add this over here should do, and enter. As 5 minutes later, Izuku was blown back slightly off of his chair from an explosion in his apartment building. As heroes were called, Mount Lady at the time, and Aizawa, and Endeavor probably. As the all was brought to the scene as soon as possible, Mount Lady throwing Aizawa on top of a building to see if a villain attack happened. No villain in sight, however, but there was a kid Aizawa could see in the corner of his eye. Mount Lady, you able to create wind? Aizawa said. Yes, I can, but why? It'll blow most of the wind away, you fucking tit for brains, Aizawa said, as a big gust of wind kicked up, putting some of the fire out so Aizawa could see closer in. As Aizawa saw a 5-year-old boy next to an invention. As Aizawa went down and grabbed him with his scarf and pulled him upwards. As once Aizawa pulled him up, he saw all the inventions Izuku made, everything that he built, but he didn't know he built it. Moment Aizawa got him to the ground and put some medical aid on him, and tried to put more oxygen into his lungs that was clear. Aizawa asked him the question, what happened in there, kid? Aizawa said. I was messing with one of my inventions and it blew up, Izuku said. Your inventions. What is your quirk again, kid? My quirk's intelligence booster. It allows me to increase my intelligence the older I get, Izuku said. So what were you making exactly? I was trying to make a nuclear bomb that was able to rival All Might's punch, Izuku said. What? Aizawa said as his mouth was agape. What did that kid just say? Mount Lady said. He said he was going to create a nuclear bomb that's powerful enough to make it as strong as All Might's 100% smashes, Aizawa said. Wait, are you a terrorist, kid? Lady said, as Aizawa smacked her at the back of the head. We don't make those assumptions, Mount Lady, you know that, Aizawa said. So why would you make something like that so dangerous, kid? I felt like it, Izuku said. You felt like it? Why on earth would you think that would be a good idea? Because as a hero, you need to figure out ways out of the box, and all my stuff is mental, not physical. So I had to figure out ways around what I think, Izuku said. So if you wanted to become a hero, how would you do that? Make stuff that makes my physical strength on par with All Might, Izuku said, smiling. So if that nuke would have gone off, how would you expect to clean it up? It did go off. Wait, what? It went off. It's just that my room is massive. What do you mean by massive? Well, it's a space-time rift. It allows me to make things bigger inside of my little space. But when that blew up, it sort of destroyed it. How big is that little space? Almost infinite. I filled it up almost in 1 week. Wait, what? Mount Lady said. An infinite space? And a nuke went off in it. How did you survive? I made a back door on every single one of the floors. In case of emergencies, that opens and drags me out. I'm pretty sure everything in there almost exploded. If that would have went off outside, that would have probably nuked the entire Japan, Izuku said. As I was stood there stunned, knowing something like this was under their noses the entire time. So you created a country-level bomb in less than 2 days, yes. How? You're like 5, Mount Lady said. I'm smart. My quirk allows me to increase my intelligence. I get that, but what the fuck? Mount Lady said. If you have something like that, then Aizawa, call Nezu, please, Mount Lady said. Nezu might be the only one to understand this kid's lingo. I'm pretty sure me and you are going to be useless. 1 hour later, Nezu arrived with a special person. Holy shit, it's All Might, Izuku said. Ow! Mom, that hurt, Izuku said. You shouldn't be bang-mouthing with that bad language, Izuku. I know you've read a lot of books, but you don't read all the bad words out loud, Inko said, as Izuku rubbed his head from the injury that he just got from his mother. So, how may I greet you, All Might? Inko said, with a smile. As All Might got a shiver down his spine, remembering from what his master said, and from Mother Smile's run, All Might remembered. So, why was I called here? All Might said. Because this kid created a nuclear bomb that was able to destroy half the country. Wait, what? Nezu said, saying with All Might. So, how smart is this kid? Nezu said. He's able to create a pocket dimension and able to destroy half the country if need be. And how long did this take him? A week, Inko said. How? How did he even get the parts? I stole them from a junkyard, Izuku said. Wait, how did you even get them? It's portable. I can create a little pocket dimension and I can just steal stuff from. Well, it's junk anyways, so it's not technically stealing, Izuku said. Stealing's still stealing, young one, All Might said, smiling at him while patting his head. So can I inject you with this? Izuku said, pointing a needle at All Might, as All Might had a shiver down his spine from when Recovery Girl back in the day used to hit him with her cane. So, what does that do, young one? It tightens your skin and makes you almost invincible, Izuku said, smiling. But there is nasty side effects, like the aging, coughing up blood, and the chance of death, Izuku said, smiling. I'll hold off on that until you fix it, okay, Izuku? Oh, young Midoriya, All Might said, as Izuku had a pout on his face. Pooh, I can't test my thing on All Might, Izuku said. Maybe when you're older and you've perfected it, then yes, Izuku. Or young Midoriya. Damn, I really do need to fix that, All Might said. So, young one, how old are you? I'm 6. And you're able to destroy... Nezu had a stroke and shut down at that point. So, young Midoriya, Would you like to come to UA and practice then? Because it seems a lot better you being over there than you staying here and almost blowing up a country. We have a lot more state-of-the-art stuff to be able to help you control your urges a little bit better, All Might said. Really? I get to go to UA? Izuku said. Yes, and when you're older you may come on recommendation. Why can't I just work there? Izuku said. Because you're not old enough, young Midoriya. Once you get older and you're able to handle a lot more stuff, then maybe, just maybe, we'll help you there. As we flash to the future, when Izuku is just finished with Nezu and on his way home. As Izuku was on his way home, he ran into somebody on accident. Ow! Izuku said, as he hit the floor hard. Who are you? Izuku said. Oh, my name's Mei Hatsume. It's very nice to meet you. Also, I saw you in the little area where we're all testing our stuff. You went across with the principal, did you not? That sounds really cool. What did you invent? What did you do? What did you do this? What did you do that? As Mei carried on rambling. Wait, you were there when I was experimenting with the principal? How? Where were you? Izuku said. I didn't even see you. I was over there, in the corner. As Mei pointed over to the window where Nezu was standing. How would you see that far without using your quirk? What is your quirk, actually? It's X-ray vision, and also zooming, too. It's a mix of both. My parents, of course. Mei said, giddy as Izuku did. So does your quirk also increase your intelligence, or is it just normal intelligence, huh? Normal, but I increased it, Mei said. Does your things also blow up half the time? More or less about 70-50, Mei said. Cool, let's be friends, Izuku said, putting out his arm. As Mei poked and prodded it. No, you don't do that, silly. You do this. As Izuku dragged his arm over to Mei's, as they both shook hands. A week has passed, and Izuku and Mei have hung out a little bit more, but not too much. As Izuku and Mei both introduced themselves to different things, like how Izuku introduced Mei to his infinite pocket room, the one he has actually worked on, and managed to make almost invincible. So that nuclear bomb that he made was able to destroy a country. He's managed to fix it up and put it into a gauntlet instead of it being able to destroy half the country, so it has levels. Doesn't make it even better though. Jesus Christ. Imagine if Orphan gets his hands on that. As the day went on, but Izuku, he had thoughts about destroying it, but he had thoughts about keeping it there and just keeping it secret until the time arose. As Izuku finally had his letter of acceptance, as he knew he passed already, because he managed to make Nezu queer and fear as his intelligence, he thought, but we all know they're evenly matched until now. As Izuku and Mei both arrived at UA, Bakugo went past them. Oi, you. Do I know you from somewhere? Bakugo said. Think so. Your name's Bakugo, right? Yeah, it is. And what's it to you? Oh, I'm Izuku. You remember me? I don't think Auntie ever told you what I looked like after when I finished high school. I finished high school very early. Well, should have done, but they never let me in, Izuku said. So, how did you get to your point then? Oh, I just passed the exam without trying, Izuku said. Wait, what? There's no way in hell you didn't try forward. You're quirkless, aren't you? No, I have an intelligence quirk. I'm pretty sure I can kill you with just a single thought, Izuku said, being cocky slightly. Stupid nerd. Stay out of my way, Bakugo said, as he walked off. Who is he, Izuku? I have no clue. As Izuku and Mei both went into their classes for the day, Izuku never left his class until around about lunch, when a bunch of students came in and asked them see if they were able to actually get some hero suit upgrades. Mainly Nemuri, Nezu. I'm kidding about Nezu. He can make his own shit. And all the upper, well, I won't say echelons of society, I'll probably say all the top 3 heroes and a bunch of other heroes and everything, and students as well would come to Izuku for help. When lunch was around, Izuku managed to leave his lab for a certain period of time as Power Loader took a breath of relief, enabling to him to relax and not have Izuku blow up his lab accidentally. Same with May, but May didn't leave. That's what made Power Loader go back on edge. As 5 minutes later, Izuku arrived at the cafeteria. Izuku, a person shouted. Oh, hi, Auntie Marie, how you doing? He said. Good. Are you able to help me out with something? Yeah, sure, what is it? Well, we're sending a bunch of our students to the USJ tomorrow, and I was just wondering you were able to tag along and help, Izuku said. Well, Nemuri said. Yeah, sure, what time are we leaving? That'll be early hours of tomorrow, around about 10 a.m. Cool, Izuku said, as he went along with his day. As next day arrived, as Izuku got all of his stuff ready, as he thought, maybe I should take this out for a test run, just to be safe, Izuku said, grabbing you-know-what weapon. As Izuku arrived at the bus and got on, most students were confused about the random student that came on, but he just kept to himself the entire ride and didn't do anything. Until everything from canon happened. But mostly everything happened the same. Mostly things different, mostly things not. Until the Nomu attacked Tsuyu. I finally get a reason to test this baby, Izuku said, pushing it up to around 25%, which that is All Might's 100% prime. As he bashed the gloves together, creating a dust cloud, blinding the Nomu for 5 seconds before it rushed through. As the moment it did, Izuku stepped forward, surrounding himself in a Slobwitch shield. You ever seen Guardians of the Galaxy when they surround themselves in a little blue orb type of thing? It's like that. As Izuku hit the Nomu full force, blowing its head off, as the Nomu was sent flying back until it regenerated. Ooh, this baby's so cool, Izuku said, as he bashed his hands together once more, creating another shockwave. Let's put it up to 30, Izuku said, as his muscles cramped up, as he released a blunt blast of power towards the Nomu with killing intent. Oh, you're about to eat it down, Nomu, Izuku said. I always wanted to see what a zombie would be like against this. Undead creature, eat fist, Izuku shouted, throwing another smash. As this continued, blow after blow, Izuku said, whatever. Why not try it up to 50? As this was a bad idea. For him, at least. The moment he reached it up to 50, it blew off the top of the USJ and evaporated all of the Nomu's body. But the moment this type of thing was made. You ever seen the tornado that All Might created at his final fight? Imagine that when it's 3 times stronger. Just imagine that, with it being a deserted area and going straight up, most villains who didn't actually keep themselves, attached to the ground, went flying. But everyone who was surrounding the area, like the heroes and the kids that were trying to be protected, most of them was unharmed, but most of them got created injuries slightly. As Izuku released the punch, the aftermath was crazy. Izuku looked around to see nothing left, just a deserted area. And this was a bad idea bringing these, but we do, Izuku said, as he shrugged off destroying the USJ casually. As everybody looked around in shock, seeing all of the destruction that just came up from one kid. What the hell? Shigaraki said, cowering in fear. as his legs were shaking underneath. There's no way in hell that kid inherited One For All, and even if he did, One For All doesn't create that much power. All Might's Prime didn't even have that much, Shigaraki said. As Shigaraki looked down to see Izuku's gauntlets. Those. He's holding back, Shigaraki said, as Kurogiri opened a warp gate as fast as he could, helping him escape, but Kurogiri didn't have any time to escape, so he was lost to the hero's hands. I do hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you have, make sure to hit the like button down below, because it helps us out a lot. Thank you all, and have a good day. See you later, everybody.